Changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French, and I'm a California native that transitioned to Las Vegas 19 years ago. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone, returning phone calls, and overall structure running a solid real estate business. Many of my competitors do not have the knowledge of how to write solid offers to legitimately have your offer looked at, and they work with a commission-first mentality. I will roll up my sleeves and work hard to find the right home for you regardless of the time it takes. Please call me directly 702-557-6176 to start the process of finding the right home for you. I'm available 7 days a week for all your real estate needs. What is going on, everybody? This is Dan French, and we're shooting live from my house here, and got my friend Chris on. This is the French Workbench podcast. We're going to try to get back into this. You guys know me. I'm a realtor out here from Blueprint Real Estate Services now, and we're going to start doing these live broadcasts. And I got my friend Chris on. We're going to talk a lot today about what's happening out there in the markets with the housing market. Some reactions, though, on Jamie Foxx. We're going to talk about that, the NBA playoffs. Also, we're going to talk about mortgage rates going to 7%. Could that happen? And I'm going to bring Chris in. Chris, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, my brother, what's going on, man?
What's going
Good to
on,
see
man?
you.
How's life?
Wow, I can't complain, man. It's pretty good. It looks like it wants to rain here. I wish it would. We need some rain.
We do need some rain, don't we?
Yeah, I would. I just right now I took the trash out. Looks we have overcast. I'm like, I just wish it would come down. We need some rain. I haven't washed my car yet, so.
You haven't watched your. What have you been up
Oh
to, man?
it happens every time. Why is that? You wash your car and it rains.
What have you been up to, bro? What's life been like for you?
So I just got back into the car industry, and
How'd
it's
that
been
go?
good, man. Oh, it's going great, honestly. At the end of the day, I love people. And so real estate is and will be another way for me to connect with people.
Yeah.
However, now that I'm actually thinking about it, no, I don't regret it. I don't say I wouldn't have gone into real estate because I learned a lot of valuable things and a lot of valuable lessons. But now thinking about it, I probably would have just stayed in the real car business if I
Really?
could.
So you would want to do the car thing, huh? That's what you would want to do today?
Yeah, because I like consistency, brother. Real estate, I had a really good first year,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a horrible second year. It wasn't horrible, but it just definitely was not up to my standards on what I want to make, what I expect to make in terms of financially. So that alone, I don't doesn't sit well with me. So if it was up to me, car business is more consistent, and it's good money. It's better than good money.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll tell you
but
what, man, I think the car business is definitely a way to go if you're in sales. I think there's a lot of people scrambling right now on trying to find out, is there an alternate way to make money in real estate? Because you look at what's going on with a lot of realtors out there, a lot of lenders out there are really struggling, and we've seen it. And I told everybody before this got started, this whole thing that we see, this whole thing that's unfolding is going to be a big problem, I think, for a lot of realtors out there, a lot of lenders. And the economy, as we see, is slowing down a bit. We're still doing well as far as getting people, talking with people, trying to get real estate, trying to get them motivated to buy, and seeing where their mindset at, the temperature where they're at. But I don't see the influx that we saw, let's say last year or even at the end of last year. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that rates are going up. We're going to talk about that here in a second. 7% rates is where we're headed again. And, we have some other things we're going to discuss, but I think with me and looking at real estate in general, I'm still on the grind. And a lot of people they left. I know a lot of people that have left the state. They went and lived in another city or another state just because it's very hard right now with what's going on here in real estate for a lot of realtors out there. Could you attest to that, Chris?
yes, yeah, I see that. I don't personally know anyone who's moved out of state, but I definitely know of people who went and got either a job or a second job. You know, uh, our livelihood, right? How we make money and how we support our family and our loved ones and things that we want to do on the weekend and things we have goals, we have targets, we have money we need to save for.
Yeah.
And, no matter how passionate one is about real estate, if you're not closing deals, or if there's no one to buy the homes because of the interest rate, like you just brought up, that's a conversation that that person has to have with themselves. Me, it's not a very hard decision. I have a certain amount of money I like to make every month, and once I saw like, okay, at the trajectory that I'm forecasting, I don't see myself making that kind of money. So it was easy for me to pivot out of real estate. I'm still an active agent at the end of the day. I always keep that because it's good to have. But just speaking for me, I said, okay, let me get back into something that I know I can make immediate money. It's something I did in the past, almost like a plug and play type method. And car sales for me was a decision.
Let's transition, man, and talk about the NBA playoffs. I know you're a big NBA fan, and I want to talk a little bit about what's happening here. Um, what do you think is happening right now in the markets right now, as far as the NBA goes with the whole news out there? What do you think is going on with the NBA? Tell me a little bit about the playoffs because you watch this a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch full games, only because of a game will take damn near 3 hours to watch. So more or less, I'll either catch the end of the game or I'll do highlights. Unless it's you and I, we've watched a full game before. We set time aside, we plan that. But right now, they're saying that the NBA is scripted and that it's a marketing ploy to get the Lakers and Boston back in the finals.
I mean, but are you into the NBA playoffs? Do you love the NBA playoffs at all?
Love? I don't know if I would say love, but I like I love basketball.
You do
I
love
played in
basketball. You
high.
used to play basketball a lot.
Yeah, I played in high school. I've played after high school and free
What was your
time. Pick up
position, man? Were you power forward, center? Like, what did you
shooting
play?
guard. I was shooting guard.
Shooting guard.
Yeah,
Were you
yeah.
good or were you okay or what?
I would say I was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was better than okay. I wasn't like NBA bound or nothing, right? But yeah, I would say I was good.
Yeah. What is your height, man? What are you about 6'2"?
No, if I was 6'2", man, I probably would have made it to the NBA. That's all I would have needed. Now I'm 6 foot.
You're 6 foot.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at where we're at today with where I think the NBA is headed, there's a lot of problems with the NBA. I'm not a lot of people don't like the NBA just because of all the stuff that they did in the past, right? Which is they put those, I don't see anything wrong with it, but they had like they changed their names on the back. They had it was a big motivation to try to support social justice and things like that. People really were not into that, and so for me, I don't know. I don't see it as a problem as a whole, but a lot of people got turned off by the NBA. They got turned off by the NFL as well. So, did that turn you off at all?
No,
Neither did
I
I.
don't
I
care.
mean, it
I
wasn't a
don't care,
big
man.
deal.
I
I don't
mean,
think it was that big of a deal, right?
you know, I, I, you know, I could see what they're saying in terms of, we're here to watch the games,
Right.
right?
Right.
You are at work. It may be a game, but that's what they do for a living, right? They play baseball, basketball, or football, right? Our three major American sports.
Yep.
And whether one wants to say that, well, that's just work, that's what you do, right? I don't pay to see current events.
Mm-hmm.
But a human being is something that we all are before any title in any capacity. That's my belief.
Yeah.
And so if something is weighing on your heart that you feel is that needs to be highlighted, and then you have a platform to bring attention to that, right? I don't have a problem with it personally, right? So, it's no different than, say, for instance, somebody's talking about, child trafficking,
Yeah.
and people are like, oh, I don't want to hear that shit, man. I just want to see the game, right? But if somebody's really if there's a child trafficking issue and somebody wants to bring it up because they want to get attention to it, then bringing it up to me is not. That's they felt like they had a social responsibility to say something. So it doesn't
Well,
bother me.
like, so are you a LeBron James fan at all?
I will say that what he's done is pretty incredible,
You think
right?
so?
Oh yeah, I mean he's been
Why
playing
why do you
20
why do
years.
you why do you I mean, so listen, man, I think there's a lot of people out there that think the NBA is fixed, like you said. There's a lot of people that for me, man, with the NBA, I think they flop too much. I think it's kind of like soccer. Um,
Okay.
and I think some of the fouls and some of the stuff, like, I get it, you can't get every call, but I think what turns me off from the NBA is the fact that when they're out shoot, like if you go up for a layup, sometimes they call a foul and it doesn't nobody even touches them, right? Or sometimes it's they get a flop and then they call a foul on somebody when it really necessarily wasn't a foul. It's more acting, and I understand it's part
Okay.
of the game, but I don't know. I think it discredits me for watching the NBA, and I feel like sometimes they just get it wrong a lot. They travel consistently in the NBA, right? I don't know. To me, it's not something like if it's like if I feel like it's a real human error, I just think it happens too frequent. And I don't know. To
Hmm.
me, it's too many threes, not enough. It's not really a physical game anymore. So I don't know. Some of the things that's changed for me, I just don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Well, it's a business before it's basketball.
Hmm.
So people like to see a lot of scoring. They like to see the 3 pointers.
What's the big thing out there
And
with the What's the big thing out there right now with the NBA? Like what out there is the big news? You said there was some news that's going on with the playoffs. Is it that people think it's fixed?
yeah, oh yeah, 100%. People think it's
Do
fixed.
you feel
They
like
think
it's
it's.
fixed?
I mean, like I think we talked about this during the NBA Super Bowl. Y- can refs have an influence on the game? 100% they can,
Right.
but you can't fix the ball going into the hoop, right? You can't fix that, right?
Yeah, but I mean
So
at
the
at the
ball
same
still
time
has
though,
to
man,
go into
I don't
the.
know. I just sometimes it just gets very redundant, man. I'll just be honest with
Mhm.
you. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying I
Now,
don't
now,
like it.
now, if a game is close,
Right.
the refs can definitely dictate the outcome of a game because, like, say for instance, they call a certain foul, and now
Right.
that foul is going. Now this team is going to be up by 3 points versus two or versus one, and it stops the momentum of the game. That can happen 100%. Scripted, I don't know. I don't know if I would say. I don't. You know what? At the end of the day, I don't know, man. Like none of us really know. But they're saying that they want it to be the energy out there or the conspiracy is that it's going to be L.A. and Boston. I guess they both have 17 championships. It's a NBA Finals rivalry, like through the history of the NBA. And it would, in terms, it's good for the NBA because they could market the shit out of it and get huge revenue dollars, hundreds of millions, right? And I don't know, you know, I don't know. Does that for me hurt the integrity of the game? 100%.
I
100%.
don't I don't trust it, man. I'll be honest. I'm watching these games and I just some of these fouls and stuff, and I don't know. Like, to me, I think the NBA is it's gone away from being physical. There's a lot of threes. It's a lot of fast pace, high
Yeah.
scoring. Is it entertaining? You tell me. What do you think? Do you think it's as entertaining as it's ever been?
Well, the numbers prove that it's entertaining, whether we think it's entertaining or not. I mean, the NBA is oh my God, it's a massive, massive revenue generating sport
Yeah.
entity. Yeah, I mean, people like 3 pointers. They do. They like a lot of scoring.
Who
They
do you
just
want
do.
to be in the finals, man? Who's your teams? Do you have a team? Do you have a player? Who
Honestly,
do
I
you
would
want?
like to see Denver and the Heat because that's different, right? It would be different to see two different teams, right? And the two teams that no one expects to be there. Am I an underdog rider? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
but simply just because I'm like really kind of over like the Lakers and Boston. I'm over that. It would be nice to see Denver and Miami. And then I guess
Something different, right?
yeah, yeah, and then we'll close it out with that. But that's my thoughts.
So let's talk about Jamie Foxx, man. I want to bring this up because this is big in the news. And what do you know about Jamie Foxx, man?
When you say what do I know about him, what do you
Yeah,
mean
I
in
mean he's an
particular?
actor. He's a funny actor. I mean he's done a lot. What is that? The Django. That I've known him from that movie, but he's in a lot of movies, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
he
what do
is.
you think though? He all of a sudden everybody's saying that he had some type of medical issue, and they're saying it's P Diddy and all these people had something to do with it, or just P Diddy alone and his entourage or people around him coming out saying because he was going to say that P Diddy had I guess you can call it swings both ways, right? So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what are your thoughts on it? I mean, do you think that's true or you think that's fake?
I don't. It would be nice, First of all, prayers and good thoughts out to Jamie Foxx and his
Yeah,
family. Hopefully, he is recovering. He's doing well. I don't know the man. I've never met the man. But with that being said, I care for his well-being. So I think the reason why these conspiracies gain momentum and they gain feed is because the actual person that it's all being said doesn't come out and say anything. And so that's why it's able to gain life, right?
yeah, but
And the
how
fact,
many multiple? They had multiple videos out, and everybody goes to YouTube for like any source. They think that's like the real news today, and it's not. I mean, there's no real source behind it typically. But I mean, people were putting out tons of videos. I'm curious to see what happened to him, and it's probably just some normal thing that happened. But it's weird how the society or public twists things, and then comes out and brings this out and brings a narrative that somebody's behind it. Why does somebody always got to be behind something?
I mean, I guess because people look at, I mean, he's a young man, right? He,
Hmm.
seems to be like a healthy young man. Do tragedies happen in life? Yes, you could be a marathon runner and have a health issue.
Right.
And so I guess because he, out of nowhere it happened, he had a health issue. And like I said, the silence and him not actually, I mean, because if he's okay, unless he's like, what would it be? It's self-induced coma
Right.
and like sedated.
Right.
He should be able to
Yeah.
get on like Instagram live from his hospital bed. Hey
Right.
y'all, thank you
Hmm.
to all my Jamie Foxx fans. I'm here. I'm fine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And when the person doesn't come out and do that and to say I'm okay,
Hmm.
that's when the conspiracy. Oh, they're trying to kill him. Look, why hasn't he come out and spoke? And that's how these things get life breaded to them.
Right.
Um, you know, so that's my outlook on it. Um, Hopefully he comes out soon, and because then this is what happens. Then when he comes back, because he was gone for so long, then people say he was cloned. Oh, that's not really him. He's cloned. Oh man, this shit gets crazy, right?
Nah, he ain't
And so
cloned,
that's not
man. Come
him.
on.
Like they cloned him. They sent him to Area 51 and cloned him, and like that's not him. That's like a different Jamie Foxx. So the bullshit never stops.
It never stops, man. And you guys know that we took a. I want to talk a little bit about. I know we're talking about Jamie Foxx here, but just about our podcast. We took a little bit of a break just because we have a lot of things going on. Everybody very difficult sometimes to get everybody at the studio and try to bring everybody together. So we took a break, and sometimes we find it more convenient just to do things, keep this podcast going, but do it from home. We're going to have future people more come on. You guys all know that I'm a real estate agent, like I said, and I've been putting out a lot of content. I'm going to continue to put out more content. The market today and where we see the market is very challenging, right? And it has slowed down for a lot of people. Across the numbers, everybody that was a top producing agent, everybody is getting these big numbers. It's slowed down, and so people have to realize that you have to go with the ups and the downs. We've been talking about just the ups and downs with the market and things. But yeah, going back to Jamie Foxx, I think when you look at the situation with Jamie and what we see in the news, who knows what to believe?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised though. I mean, there's so many things and so many news outlets and just different, but there's nothing that's really come out and said anything about that, right? Where P Diddy was even involved on all that, right? So I don't know. To me, I just, until I see more evidence of this, or until I see more of what, I mean, to me, Jamie Foxx is he's a great actor. I actually like him. He's funny, man. Have you ever seen him make impersonations of just different people? Have you
Oh
ever
yeah,
seen
he's
that
spot
before?
on with.
He's
Yeah,
he's
he's spot on. Yeah,
he's
he's spot on
crazy,
with that
man.
shit.
He's great
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that,
he's
isn't he?
really good.
Yeah.
You know,
I was you remember In Living Color? I mean, some of these people, man, they used to not probably realize that what that is. Do you remember that show?
yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that was one of the funniest shows. I was watching it last night with my
yeah,
girl here, and we were
yeah,
watching a Mike Tyson skit. And man, it was that's the type of stuff, man. It's like you get people like that, you're always going to be remembering those people for what they are, you know. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you look at Jamie and what happened. So from my perspective, I mean, if you had to guess, let's just kind of put our guessing hats on here. What do you think really happened then?
Hmm.
Do you think like it's like a heart issue, or maybe he had like some type of stroke or medical issue? Like, what do you think?
I don't know, man.
Give me a guess. Think about like if somebody goes into a medical
Uh,
situation and it's like that. Obviously, if it was a
I
stroke,
mean,
that'd be a big
typically with
deal.
something like that, and then he has been, gone for 3, 4 weeks or however
Yeah,
long it's been.
yeah,
Typically, that's either heart or lungs.
that's what I'm
That's a
thinking, man. Because
severe issue.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
bigger
he
issue,
didn't go.
underlying
He didn't
issue.
go in because he had some flu, right?
Right,
He was
right.
fucked up. So, yeah, I'm thinking either heart or lungs. Hopefully, he, like I said, I don't want to breathe life into that. Hopefully, he makes it out. Like I said, shouts out to his family, prayers to his family and him, and strong recovery. And he's back on the screen, and we can continue to make us laugh.
Do
So.
you think there's something? We're not going to get off too much off topic here, but I'm curious. Do you think there's something out there with the celebrity status that is a different world? That things like this happen that we just don't know, and probably more frequent than we, just somebody's trying to blame somebody or something happened and we really don't know the story, but they keep it private. It's crazy because a normal person out there would not even have to deal with anybody trying to figure out I was in the hospital or I wasn't in the hospital, but because he's celebrity status, everybody wants to know what's going on, right? As you know. But is there things behind the scenes where, like they said with the PDD conspiracy, there's more conspiracies going on than we really know about in the Hollywood world. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, that it's a different status. It's a different level of the company that you're in, and so you
Who's your
know,
favorite actor?
I don't have one.
What's your favorite movie?
I don't have a favorite movie either.
Wow. So you don't have any of
No,
that.
no. I mean, I have movies that I really like, but favorite, I don't have like an all-time favorite movie.
You don't have so if you had to pick a favorite movie, like I remember movies what I used to see. Are you like a horror movie type person? Like if you want to watch a movie, do you like scary movies? Do you like funny movies? Like or you don't have really a preference of genre?
It goes by my mood. So I like comedy,
Really?
horror, thriller, like crime solving movies. So it goes by my mood.
Yeah.
But I don't have like
Yeah. I don't know.
horror movies are my favorite, and I don't have it like that. So
You guys see
yeah.
this right here? I want to show you this. Check out LV Home Professionals if you guys want to get started on buying a house. This is a great place to get started for your new search. Just go register. I'll contact you. You guys know I'm in the trenches still. Everybody's like, is Dan still? I had this lady come out and she's like, man, is Dan still alive? I've had people ask me, is he still around? Like, what's going on? I've been busy, man. Unfortunately, because it is slower, you have to grind harder. And so that means you're making more calls. You're probably showing more properties or looking for properties more than you used to, right? Because you got to think when scarcity of homes was out there, people would just go, find you or whatever. And then you would go out there, you would probably make a couple offers because there's so many homes in the market. There's a lot more than there was. You have people now very picky, buyers out there being very picky. And so nothing wrong with it. It's just you're putting a little bit more effort. That's where my effort's gone. People don't understand that my effort has gone towards really focusing on the clientele that I have and the people. And you guys know, if you're out there and you work with me on lending or real estate, definitely hit me up. You have all my contact information in the comment section. So please let us know. We got a little trivia here. What popular mobile game that caused many players to get into accidents was released in July of 2016? If you had to pick one of these, Chris, which one would you pick?
I would say Candy Crush.
Candy Crush?
Yep.
Let me see what that's about, man. I know the I think I know the answer. I think it's C, because I had my person set this up. So I don't know what the trivia question or the answer is to it, but I don't know the answer. I would say it's Super Mario Run. You're saying it's Candy Crush.
Candy Crush.
So what popular mobile game that caused many players to get into accidents? Dude, we're both wrong.
Ah, okay.
Dude, are you a
Yeah.
Pokemon? A Pokemon? You ever
No,
get into
man.
that shit? No?
I don't play none of that shit. I don't play
Nah.
any mobile games. Zero.
Dude, my kid is into Roblox, dude. He's into he's more into like the computer games. He's not like the games that's on your phone. He's not into
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you ever got into it, but like Xbox, Sony PlayStation. Like, do you ever play that?
Yeah. Yeah. I was in an Xbox as a young, from a teenager all the way to in my younger 20s. Yeah, for sure.
Were you really?
PlayStation. Yeah, yeah, I
What was your
played.
did you have a favorite game?
My cousin and I would play either like NBA Live or Madden, Call of Duty.
Madden was good, man. I did Call of
Yeah.
Duty for a while. I got hooked into that. It's just I used to play with my uncle. We used to go into like this man cave. He used to have it all set up, dude. He converted his garage into like a game room slash movie room, right?
Uh-huh.
Dude, you get lost in there. You would
Yeah.
be like, come out 3 hours later, you're like, man, where was I? So I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
you got to go through your phases, but I think that's kind of what. Let's look at this other one. Which mixed drink was made famous by rapper Snoop Doggy Dogg in the 1990s? I mean,
Ah, gin and
come on,
juice. That's
man.
that. Come on,
It's
man.
Jack and Coke.
That's terrible trivia. Come on, man. That's
That's the easy
ridiculous.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, you ever listen to Snoop Dogg?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, I know he's not
Old
really
school.
making music now, but yeah, he wasn't my favorite rapper, but yeah, definitely he's got a lot of classics, and
What type
he's
of
got a
music
lot
do
of
you listen to,
icon.
Chris? The audience wants to know, brother.
Hip hop. I like hip hop.
Do you?
I'm early 2000s, late 90s hip hop. The newer stuff now, I don't really get into. It's not my vibe.
Gin and
But I like it.
juice.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, man. That
That was an
that
easy one.
that must have
That's
been.
like a
That must have
gimme.
been.
Hey, but you know
Yeah,
what? What if
that's
somebody's
like a
watching that's
practice. You know
like
when
in
they give you a
their
practice
their
one, that's like a
seventies and they
practice
don't know who
one.
Snoop Dogg is, right?
Yeah,
Be like, oh, I
yeah,
got one.
yeah.
um, no, anyway. So going back to it, when you used to listen to music, what did you used to listen to mostly in high school? Hip hop,
Oh yeah, hip hop. Nas, Biggie.
all that.
You know. Yeah, yeah. Rappers like that. One hundred
What's your
percent.
favorite show right now? Ghost.
Yeah, that is a good show.
It's one of your
Yeah,
is that your
pretty
top
good.
show?
Yeah, it's good. So fiance and I watch it. Sister-in-law comes over to watch it.
Yeah,
Like we plan like we have like what is it, ghost night. Uh
dude, you got like a
and
whole night surrounded by it. Let me do this other one,
yeah,
Chris. So, how many people
but
survived the sinking of the Titanic? What do you got?
I would say 127.
You think so? I'm gonna
Yeah.
say 706. The sinking of the
Survive?
Titanic. That's a that's a There was a lot of people on the Titanic.
I would say 127.
Really? You think you're pretty
Yeah.
confident on this? Did you ever watch that movie Titanic? I'm sure you did, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. What do you think, man, about so anyways, going back into high school, we'll wait for this one to come up. Um I don't know, like when I used to think about the Titanic, a lot of people said that the Titanic, that a lot of that story didn't really happen. It's not really the true narrative of how it worked out. You heard about
Yeah,
that?
I've heard some pretty compelling arguments on the real thing about Titanic. Now, I'm pretty open minded, so when I
Oh,
hear
look at me,
something,
baby.
oh wow, that many
I
people
told you.
survived, huh?
I told you. But that's what I'm saying, man, is like we don't really know the story. I mean, there's this iceberg story, whatever it is, but I mean, at the end of the day, we'll never know. And
No,
we won't. It's just like history, bro. We won't know a lot about history, I mean, you know what you're told, but is it really, were you there? Did you experience it? I'm not going to say that's a lot of that's not true, but again, how do you really know? And I guess that's the question, right? How it really went down with the Titanic. I don't know. Um, anyways, so going back to us talking a little bit about the markets, we're going to jump here in a second and talk about rates. We're going to talk a lot about what's happening here in Las Vegas and also across the country as far as mortgage rates starting to creep up to 7%. You heard anything about that, Chris?
yeah. Well, I mean, they've been at 7% from my understanding,
Right.
and I still don't. How can I say it? This infinite crash or this catastrophe that's supposed to happen. Uh, People are waiting, right? I don't think it's going to happen. Um, it benefits a lot of people if it does happen,
Yeah.
because now they can come in and buy, right? But I don't know, brother. I Houses have gone down, but they have not gone down to where it makes sense for someone to come buy. So,
Well,
you
look
know,
at we got rates going up to 7%. We're going to talk about the rent conspiracy or rents going up. That's what they call it, just the rent increase. And the rent conspiracy is that rents keep going up even in a market like this and inflation's going higher. I heard the national rent average is like over $1,900 a month. And I think here, I don't know if it's nationally or it's here, but I think here it's like right around 1900. Have you done any research on rents going up recently in Las Vegas?
recently, I wouldn't say call it research, but I did assist. I had a referral. Somebody sent me his cousin, and she needed to get a rental.
Yeah.
And we were looking, and she's like, "Oh, I want to be around $1,800 a month." All right, no problem. And there was a fair amount of homes out there. I found her something over here on this side of town, and I think it was 1850, give or take. So 3 bed, 2 bath house. I think it was about 1,600 square feet. So that's about right.
What do you think, man? Do you think it is a conspiracy or a problem that you have rent going up, and when you look at the rent itself, should it keep going up? Right? I mean, you got to think that people are still trying to make money off of this. It's an investment for a lot of people. So, unfortunately, if you're out there renting a house right now and they keep raising rents on you, um, $1,900 is a lot of money for somebody. Especially, it's almost you have to have a two-income family to survive on a $1,900 payment, right? Mortgage rates going up, everything's inflated, everything's going up. Mortgage rates are at 7%. That plays a huge psychological position on people that are trying to buy a house because, I mean, let's be honest, man. 7%, a $500,000 house that's 450 right now. Let's say 425. You're probably looking at $2,500 to $3,000 payment. Who's going to afford that? Rates keep going up. People are going to just, say, I'm done, man. I'm going to be on the sidelines now. I'm not going to do it. We've seen that. Why do you, and then having these mortgage rates going up to 7, if they do keep going past 7, what do you think that's going to do to our economy? As far as the housing sector, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't think anything's going to happen. People are going to continue to rent.
They're going to continue to rent. You
Yeah,
don't
of
think it's
course.
going
Yeah,
to change anything about people's mindset and the confidence they have in? I mean, are they going to buy or would they rather rent? Right? If you got a 7% rate, but yet rents are going up year over year for most people, would you still dive in and do the 7% rate and just take your licks with it, or would you just say, you know what, I'm going to keep renting because rates are probably going to come back down? What would you do?
I don't. The percentage could go down to 0%, and there's always going to have more renters than people living. So that doesn't matter, Dan.
But you don't
Like,
think that the rates, like buying in today, if you were out there and you have, let's say you have a $2,000 rent payment and you can get into a house at $2,600 a month because you have a coming up on 7% rate. would you rather take that position and say, you know what, I'm just going to pay the extra $500 or $600 a month? Because it's very difficult. Because what people typically look at is, well, if that mortgage payment's $600 higher, if rents keep going up, at some point it's going to supersede the mortgage payment. The problem is rates have gone up so high, and the average median price of a home is a lot higher than it was, that it may make a lot of sense to stay renting just because it's lower than what your mortgage payment would be in some cases. Is that not true? Right?
But it doesn't matter, Dan. That's my point. It doesn't matter. There's been times where it was cheaper to buy than rent, and people still rent. It doesn't matter. It never matters.
What do you think the biggest deciding factor is of why people stay renting?
Because people want to have their other lifestyle, right? People want to buy shit they can't afford, and they want to drive cars that are too much. They want to buy dumb shit, clothes, and have the latest iPhone, and have Teslas and truck payments, and spend money and ring up their credit card, max it out. They'd rather do that instead
Well,
of
I think that's a good analogy, but I'm sitting here looking at it going like this. Um, if I'm looking at a mortgage rate at 7%, right? Mortgage applications we know has dropped significantly this last week. Anytime that anything happens in this market, we've been hovering over 6% now. So I think it's pretty much the norm. I think the Fed's done everything that they can to bring inflation down, and they keep saying it's tamed, it's tamed. With you look at inflation, you look at everything that's going on in the world. I don't know, man. I understand, people are putting their credit cards or maxing them out. Could it be though that people had a custom lifestyle before that they thought things would never change? Or maybe they're saying, you know what, I lost my job, or I'm not making as much money. So now you're living off your credit cards, unfortunately. I think a lot of people are doing that. I think a lot of people have
no,
no
no,
alternative. Maybe they're trying to get a
no,
second or third job. What do you think? What are
no.
your
Even
thoughts?
when the interest rate was 2 and 3%, people still didn't buy, Dan. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
So you don't think that
People,
consumer confidence has dropped when
no,
rates have
I
gone up?
don't. No, I don't.
What's changed then? Why is the market so slow now?
Because now because the people who do manage their money and do budget responsibly, it doesn't make sense for them, right? But the other people that you're talking about, that doesn't matter. The percentage could be zero and people still won't buy. That's just people, man. They got their priorities fucked up. So
Oh,
that
you
doesn't
think people
matter.
got their priorities fucked up, and that's why, huh?
Yeah, people will always rent,
So
right?
even with this rent increase, they'd rather just be in a position where they can get out of it really quick. It's almost like leasing a car. You don't want to make a full commitment, but you want the enjoyment of that house. If rents go up $100, $200, you compare that to a mortgage payment at 7%, they're still going to take that position possibly to rent than buy. When I think, why not? I mean, you're putting money into something like renting, which it doesn't give you anything back, though, Chris. Like, what do you get from renting?
Well, you get the fulfillment of, for one, it's not a commitment, right? And for two, a lot of the people, they can't buy, right? Their finances are out of whack. They don't have the money to put down. Credit is shot. Too much debt. They can't buy. Even if the percentage was 0%, people don't even have the money for the down payment, Dan. So it doesn't matter. It
What do
doesn't
you think
matter.
this market? So we're going to head into this market here. So we see rents increasing. We see mortgage rates going up. People are struggling. Inflation's still high. And you see a lot of problems out there with people. So where do you think this is
No,
going to
I
go
don't
to?
see any problems. When's the
You
last
don't
time
see
you went out to
problems.
eat? I don't see. You just went out to dinner?
Yep.
Was the restaurant bare bone dry? Were you and your fiance the only one there eating?
No, I mean, here's my thing on that. And that's a good point. Are people
Right?
just done? Like they would rather spend, like you said, credit cards. Is the lifestyle that they were leading before the pandemic, or even after, or even during challenging times with inflation, are they going to continue to stay that lifestyle? Meaning running up credit cards, They'd rather do that than invest it, say, into a house. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
what
always going to be like that, man. You're always going to have more irresponsible than you are responsible because people are into instant gratification, right? Nobody wants to wait. They want shit right now, and they'll get it, and in their mind they'll say, "Oh, well, I'll just charge it. Now I'll pay it back." But they don't ever pay it back, right? They don't pay it back,
so you think
right?
a
They're
lot of
just
people
not.
are living paycheck to paycheck right now?
I think there's a lot of people who okay, now, are there people out there struggling and they really just don't have the ends to meet? Yes. You got single moms out there, got 2 and 3 kids, whatever the case may be. People who aren't moms that are just, for whatever reason, they just can't seem to get a break. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people who have the money, right? Now that I'm back in the car business, Dan, people signed to $700 and $800 car payments. Like you're gonna go order a meal at Chick-fil-A.
They don't care.
It's like not even a big deal
It's almost. I mean, so where's this money come from? Like, where do you think people are
because
getting money
people
and why
got
are they
money, man.
confident?
That's a whole scare tactic. The news likes to push the narrative like people are out here fucked up, poor, hungry, don't got any money. That's not true. That's not true. People are coming down there. Oh, I'm gonna put 8,000 down on this car. Oh, okay.
What do you think that? Yeah, but you think the position of people though is a lot worse than it was, say, previously in the last 2 or 3 years? You don't think?
No, I
You
don't.
think it's
Nope.
better?
No, I think people got money. They just mismanage it the wrong way, and they spend it where they spend it where it's important. If buying a house was important to them, they would go buy a car for $8,000, have no payment, and work on buying a house.
So let's talk
That's not
about that
important
then.
to
Let's
them.
talk about that position of the housing market. Is it important today for people to buy a house, even though it's 7% rates? Things are going up.
No, it's
Is
not. Dan, It's not important to them, even if it was 2%. The house could be $50,000, and people won't buy it.
for
It
what
doesn't
reason,
matter.
Chris?
It doesn't matter if the house is
Why?
five
Why though,
dollars
Chris?
or five
Chris? But
million.
why? Why would they not buy a house which, in my opinion, is better than renting? Even and listen, markets always. I had a guy today. He's talking to me and he's like, you know what? This guy bought at the peak of 2022, and his house he bought it for was 370, and it's now worth 350. And I
Okay.
said, okay, so it dropped $20,000. He bought it, probably overpaid for it. Maybe he bought or maybe spent, and put money above list, which a lot of people did in 2022 just to get the house. And now you're looking at it going, you're underwater. I say, well, you know what, sir? I get it. If you're buying it for an investment purpose, like to get a return, you shouldn't buy a house that way. There's only two reasons I would buy a house. Is that if I'm buying it as an investment property, I don't care about the worth or the value of it, technically. I care about what's the money going to give me in return on monthly rents. Or if I'm buying it for the long term of things, right? You buy a house and you plant your money, and over time, hopefully, you make money off of it. But let's be honest, rents and mortgage, if you compare them together, if you have a fixed payment, traditionally over time, rents keep going up. So you're going to save money in the long term if rents keep going up. But what you're saying is that people just don't care anymore, roughly.
No,
Well,
it's
what are you
not
saying?
important. Okay, why do people have the 12 iPhone? Works perfectly fine. There's fucking nothing wrong with it, and they got to get the 14 and the 15 and the 16, and they wait in line at Apple to go get the next one, right?
Do you
Car is
think it's
perfectly
yeah,
fine.
so
Car is
so
perfectly fine.
that brings up a
Car
good
is
point.
fine. They got to switch out of that car, get the new body style, the new fit, the new one with the features. People, the TV, your TV's fine. Oh, I got it. Oh man, have you seen the new 85-inch Sony? I'm gonna try. Your TV's fine, man. Right?
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you an analogy. Okay. You brought up an Apple phone, the new technology that comes out. People will stand in line. They'll stand in line for a new video game or some type of, whatever it is, new iPhone or new whatever. It's the same with a house. I think Americans or just people in general that when they're buying things, they have to have some type of incentive or frenzy in the market. Look, we had houses at all time highs, right? In Vegas. rates were going up and people were still spending money, $30,000, $40,000 in some cases above list. It's because there's scarcity of homes and rates were low. There's no incentive for people to buy right now. There's no frenzy in the market. There's nothing in the news that's saying go buy or you're going to miss out. That's the same with like an iPhone or something else. I understand it's a smaller scale. When you buy a house, it's a big deal. It's the biggest investment most middle class people make. I think with the situation that we're in, you got to say, why would anybody want to buy? Well, there's no motivation. You have nothing out there that's enticing people to buy. The only reason somebody would want to buy today is if you're a first-time home buyer, in my opinion, or you want to plant your money and you want to make, obviously pay yourself forward potentially down the road. But what is the incentive? What is the motivation for the average person out there that may want to buy or was on the sidelines, or let's say they want to downsize, or maybe you want to sell the house because there's equity in the house and you want to cash out? I don't know. We don't have a frenzy or some type of motivational position. The news was putting out there during COVID, right? People had all the time in the world to shop. There's nothing out there right now for the housing market that says, hey, go buy because these are the reasons why you should today. And you're not going to get the same deal that you got a year ago. So go buy. Everything's gone up. Yeah, prices have come down. We've leveled off at 425. We're still above averages that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years. So does that make sense to you?
I mean, the incentive, it still doesn't matter, Dan. It doesn't matter,
But you
man.
need incentive. Somebody needs motivation to go buy is what
No,
I'm
they
saying.
don't.
If
Dan, people won't even do shit for free. I bought a mattress a few years ago, my daughter's mattress, and it came with a box spring,
right.
right? Box spring, we didn't need it. Brand new, never slept on it. It's a double pillow top bamboo mattress, right? The type of bed that I got her, the frame, you don't need a box spring. So I put the box spring on Facebook, right? Free. You know that the messages I got, like, oh, could you bring it to me? I'm like, fuck no, it's free, right? Just all you gotta do is come pick it up. All you gotta do is come pick it up. That's it. Just come pick it up. So it's hard to give stuff away. So the incentive doesn't matter. I think you're trying to make sense of it. It doesn't matter, man. You couldn't
I think
even
I
give a
think what I'm
house
trying
away. You
yeah.
couldn't even give a house away. Oh, you know what? Oh, it's on the east side, right? Oh, it's in north. Oh, that's too far from my job. That's not the side of town I want to be on. It's far from my kid's school. People are going to always find a reason to not buy than to buy. And that's why the investors, like your corporate investors and your modern day investors, will always, you can always find a renter. Always. So there will always be more renters in this country. Can't speak for other countries than buyers, than owners. 100%. I don't care what you do. You
Is
could
it
pay
by
people to move in.
choice or is it because they're forced to though,
You
Chris?
could pay people to move into a house, and
Yeah,
people
but is
still
it
won't
by
do it.
choice or are they forced to rent? Look, I think there's some
No,
truth
no
to
one's
that, but
forced
you
to
got to
do
think
anything.
how many people today are struggling living, in my opinion, paycheck to paycheck, where the average buyer out there to put money down and actually sustain that mortgage payment, and they don't even know. I hear it all the time. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to hold my job down. I want to buy this, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold my job down. They just laid some people off. I think there's uncertainty too that goes
That's
with it.
somebody looking for an excuse. You know how many jobs are out there? Come on, man. Knock it off. Go get another job. You see
I
what I'm
think I
saying?
think that dream of people thinking they're going to go buy a house though, and you can just like have that. They call it the American dream. You're working, things are working well. I mean, if you want a house, you better have multiple streams of income. That's the only way I think you can buy a house today and actually be comfortable.
No, or just be responsible.
And what way?
Don't overspend. There's normal people buying, everyone buying a house is not making $300,000 a year. So
Yeah. So
people,
what would you give the best advice to people out there that If you wanted to say, you know what, don't overspend or just be responsible and buy.
No, make it important to you. Make it important to you in anything in life. If you want to lose weight, you'll make it important to yourself. You'll make it important to yourself to not eat how you eat, exercise, be consistent. You want to be a better husband, better wife, better parent. You want to, you got goals. You want to get a promotion at work. You have, just make a dedication, make a decided, um, uh, what is it? I'm just falling short of what I want to
Like a
say.
decisive
Make,
position or stance on it,
yeah,
if
make a
that's what you want to
decided
do.
commitment to yourself. Okay, you know
Right.
what? I'm buying a house no matter how, well, not no matter, but I'm going to buy a house in a year and a half, in 18 months. Write it down, find out what that's going to take, save up your money, and then put that plan into an actual, bring it to life, right? And that would be my advice, right?
Is that so? If you were out there today, would you buy a house today or would you not?
Yeah,
Curious.
if it made sense for me, yeah, I would buy a house if I could
And
get a
how would
good
it make
deal
sense
on
for
it.
you? In what way would it make sense?
If it was a brand new, let's say if it was a brand new house, let's say Lennar right now. What are they selling? What, at the 3 car garage one? It was like 650,
Yeah.
right? If I could get it for 550, 525, right? Let's see. Let's see how bad Lennar wants to get rid of it, right? 500 possibly. I'd buy it.
But is that a bad investment? Because you got to think. Here's why I say that. You have rates at 7%. You're taking on a higher payment. I mean, you always got. I think you always. I would always put myself in that position to see if I get my return, paying myself forward. But you got a $500,000 house. You're buying something at Lennar, right? Um, I don't know. I mean, you're still
I
in the
mean, we'll
same
get
position as
everything.
other people, though. It's a risk.
But negotiate a price adjustment and get the locked in rate. Not this 3-2-1 buy down. No, I want 5%, 30-year. If you can do 5%, 30-year loan and bring it down to 500, I'll take it right now.
You sound
I
like
don't
one
got
of
to
my
think about it.
buyers.
What's up?
I say you sound like one of my buyers. It's either
Yeah.
this or they can tell them to go pound sand because I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do
And
it.
at the end of the day, Lennar, sooner or later, Toll Brothers and all these other people will start doing that. So if you can come up on that type of situation, 100% you do it. That's what I would do.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think everybody's case by case. I'll tell you the people that I'm usually working with is relocation people. They're coming from out of
Mhm.
state, another place. They're trying to look for a house here, and they're using me for their resources to find them a house. Am I traveling across the city, talking to different builders, and going and looking at different houses? Absolutely. But I think that's where there's the no brainer that comes in, where it's like, okay, we're gonna move to Vegas, which is, believe it or not, folks out there, is not a big separation between, say, California cost of living and here. It's still a separation. Let's not kid ourselves. We got taxes we save, a lot of things and a lot of incentives to still move here. But the everyday cost of living is not different, not that much. So that's a lot of people that I work with, and that's a lot of people I'm dealing with outside of the state of Nevada, city of Las Vegas, because that's who my clientele is. But if you're here living here and you're trying to downsize or upsize, man, that almost seems like it's not heard of anymore. I mean, it happens, but it's got to be a real necessity for you to leave your house and find another house unless your family's increased. I mean, that's a big deal, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't see a lot of people here in Las Vegas trying to downsize or upsize. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to do that based on need and based on, of course, want. Secondarily, I mean, you got to find out what's important to you. If you're tired of the neighborhood you live in, or you want to upgrade, and it seems like it's going to be the right time for you, depending on how much equity you have. You want to roll over the entire amount and get into something new. You have the buying power right now. Exercise that to your full capacity.
Dude, I had a lady.
I don't think asking for $150,000 off on a new build and locking in your rate. I don't think that's unrealistic.
You don't think that's unrealistic to ask that much off?
No, when we went to Toll Brothers, they were already at $100,000 off
Yeah, but that's off the initial.
with nobody negotiating anything.
That's off the initial, though. Here's what it is. They just don't have the traffic or activity. But to say they took off 100 and then you go in and ask for an additional 150 off, that's like $250,000 off. They're not going to
So
come up
what?
that.
So what? So what? When the market was bad, people were offering 80 and 100 over. That wasn't insane.
Yeah,
So
I
why
just
isn't
don't.
it
I
insane
think
to go the
Lennar's
other
going to
way?
be like, I got a line here. Like they're probably dropping it going, listen, we already dropped it. I mean, it would take
No,
something catastrophic. They would have to, and they didn't
they already
overbuild.
dropped it 100. So what's to say they won't go more?
I don't think, do you think they overbuilt?
Yeah.
Builders had a
Well,
problem in
no, no. I
2008
don't
for
think they
overbuilding.
overbuilt. I think what happened was you have a lot of those people that fell out because the interest rate went up, right? Bad negotiating.
Right.
They didn't get their rate locked in, right? You can lock in your rate. You can, right? Hey, listen, if I'm going to buy this house and I'm going to give this deposit up, I need my 3% or 4% locked in until my shit is built. And a lot of people backed out because now the rate went up 2 points or 2.5 points, and now they can't afford the mortgage no more. And now they're just dead on their deposit. It sucks, but your realtor should have negotiated that for you. So,
Well, look, I'm not saying I wouldn't offer it. If somebody came to me and said, Dan, I want you to write this offer at this, I'm going to say, let's do it. And we
yeah,
talked about this. You're not going to
yeah,
advise somebody to not tell them that, or tell them that they can't do something. Let's let the market or let them figure that out. We'll still write it. Like if you came to me and said, hey, Dan, I want to write this for $250,000 less. All right.
let's do it.
I'm in my mind, I might have my own opinion. I'm not going to tell you that. Doesn't matter
Mhm.
though. I'm representing you, so I'm just going to write it. Again, like you said, right? If they come back and I say we talk about it, the builder doesn't accept it. Hey man, that's what the market's willing to do. That's what the builders are willing to do. You may hit a home run.
Yeah, you
We don't
may.
know.
We don't know what comes down from corporate. Lennar might be like, hey, listen, if somebody comes in, this is our margin. If whatever we need to do to sell these last 18 homes, get it done. Get it done. We're locking rates. We'll do whatever we need to do. That shit happens. That shit happens. Pride and ego, all that shit goes out the window when you're talking about money. And
Yeah.
so I don't think it's unrealistic. People thought that taking $100,000, oh, they're not going to do that, and they've already done it without even no one asking for it. So what makes you think they won't do it now?
So let me say this, with all this information out there, you still see people not wanting to buy and on the sidelines, even though,
No, man, because people always think when the market when it was 3%, oh, I'm going to wait for it to go to 1. Because people are stupid,
well, I mean,
right?
look, they just run with what they see out there. I don't know if they're stupid, but I think a lot of times people think like, well, if I'm not going to get it at this price, or if I'm not going to get this deal, everybody's looking for a deal. It's completely flipped. It's a 180. It used to be sellers, right? Sellers world. It's a buyer's world. And I think a lot of people as a buyer in the buying sector right now, or buyers out there, think they could do whatever they want. If I want to do 200,000, I'll do 200,000 off. I don't know. I
Those
think
people I don't
there's
even
always a
entertain.
gauge though. What?
Yeah, those people I don't even entertain those type of people. As soon as I hear that type of language, I'm not the realtor for you,
Right.
right?
So you're
Just
saying
like in
there
the
is
car
an
business. I do it now in
unrealistic
the car
client out
business.
there, right? There's an
Yeah, I
unrealistic
do it right
client.
now in the car business. People come in there wanting a car. Say, for instance, the new CRV or a Ridgeline. Oh, I'm not paying market adjustment. You pay market adjustment every day,
Well, people don't know
but you
that.
don't
It's
want
a
to pay
hidden
market
adjustment, right?
adjustment. What'd you say?
It's a hidden adjustment that people don't know about because
No, it's not hidden.
it's
It's
not
very
hidden.
clear. Market adjustment, $3,000. Market adjustment. They don't have a lot of these cars, and because of the lack of cars, it's a $3,000 increase on top of the price. It's
So
not hidden.
we're gonna keep moving here, man. So we know
Yeah.
that the state of the market here in Vegas is slowed down. I'm still in the trenches. If you guys are out there looking to find a real estate agent out there to help you with relocating from another state, whatever it is, or you have somebody that you would like to refer me, I would love to work for you guys out there and represent you and do a good job. Like I said, I roll up my sleeves, work hard. I'm in the trenches every day. I talk to people every day about the difference, the pros and cons of Las Vegas all day, every day. I want to bring this up. Let's do the donkey of the day, right? So we want to bring that. We'll go back to the NBA because you wanted to talk about that. We're going to end our show here. This is our first one back in our real one live back, probably in a few months. I've had a lot of adjustments, things going on. Like I said, I've been in the market a lot more in the trenches. Let's talk about the donkey of the day. So, what is going on with this guy that you're talking about? What's his name?
John Morant.
Yeah. What is that dude about, man? Like, we're like, is this the younger generation thing? Like, or is it just him or what?
No, man, it's just a mindset at the end of the day, right? For whatever reason, his mindset is set on a bunch of bullshit. So, right, to keep it flat out and the way it should be. Now, on the other side, he didn't break any laws, right?
Well, yeah, but
There's
I mean,
nothing to
he
get.
showed a gun. Does he actually have a permit for that gun? We don't know,
Yeah,
right?
I
Or
mean, we
does?
don't know. I don't know, but let's just say he did have a per. I mean, if he owns a gun outright, he didn't break any laws.
Well,
Now,
I just think this, man. I think that, younger generations, you make a lot of money, you think you're, on top of the world, nothing's going to hurt you. It's another instance of it, man. And look, if you can't learn, shame on you once, right? What's that old saying, right? You do it
yeah,
again. I mean, come
shame on
on.
me or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. You can't do it twice. Like, I get it. You might get caught.
yeah,
We're all not perfect. So I'm not going to hear and act like I'm perfect, but you got to be pretty dumb. I hate to say this, but pretty dumb to do this twice in a short window of time like this.
yeah. That just goes to show you the power of influence, like his surroundings, his mentor. He needs some mentors in his life. He's just surrounded around the wrong energy at the end
Yeah.
of the day, right? And that is clear because anyone who's got like a quarter of a brain would say you probably shouldn't do that,
Yeah.
right? And let me tell you why.
Right.
At least to move with caution. Like let's pause for a minute,
Right.
right?
Right.
And yeah, that's the power of that, right? You got to have better. He's got to have better people around him. Talking about LeBron James, whatever people may feel in terms of his basketball acumen, the man's never been in trouble. He's never been in a scandal. He's a family guy. He's in his kids' lives. He's never been like on Twitter, like on TV, acting a fool, acting like
Right.
a jackass.
Right.
Never, right? Pretty much a squeaky clean. Like if you're looking at somebody to model your professional career after in terms of basketball stardom, LeBron James is probably going to be the best example of that. I get it. People love Kobe Bryant. I loved Kobe Bryant. And I'm not saying that no one can make mistakes, but the thing that he had with him getting caught or having the affair, that did taint his reputation,
Yeah.
right? He
I mean,
got
let's be
past it.
honest.
Yeah, he got past it. Yeah, he got past it, and he for whatever reason made a bad decision, right? And I'm not knocking Kobe Bryant. I'm not here to like shit on his legacy or
No,
anything. But
man.
what I'm saying,
We're not
yeah,
here to
but what
do
I'm
that.
saying is that LeBron James doesn't have any of that, man. None.
Well, I mean,
So
again, the donkey of the day for him, and we say that, or the week, if you want to call it, is the fact that he got caught twice. Like, once,
well,
okay.
no, he didn't even get caught.
Well, I'm not
He didn't
saying,
try
but
to hide it.
but
I
he's
mean, he
doing
was
it
on social
blatantly
media.
in the world
Yeah,
for people to see it because he wants to flash. It's all about the
yeah.
flash, right?
Yeah.
You do it once, all right, we'll give you a pass, right? You got to get out of jail free card. You do it twice in a short window
Now
like
he's
that,
suspended.
you're
Yeah,
just an idiot. You got to
yeah.
be the big, and he lost millions of dollars in
And he's going to
endorsements.
continue to lose. He'll continue to lose
I
more.
mean, come on, man. Like, who's the father in that situation? Who's the father figure or somebody coming in and be like, man, You understand how much
What's
money
gonna,
you just
what's gonna
lost?
start happening? You know what's gonna start happening is that the NBA, if they were smart, the teams, they're gonna start having clauses because
Yeah.
NBA money is guaranteed money, and so they're gonna start having clauses. Hey, listen, you get this money guaranteed if you do one, two, or three of these things. That money is not guaranteed anymore. We can cut your contract at that moment, pay you what we owe you, and that'll be it. And that's what's gonna start happening.
All right, man. We're going to end the show here. So first off, I
Yep.
want to say everybody out there, if you guys supported our show, thank you so much. We're going to continue to bring on people. We're going to get Esmeralda and everybody back on track here, and just kind of get the group, get the crew back, bring a little bit more life and more energy to everything. Chris and I, we've done a lot of things together. We're going to continue to do a lot more here together as far as this podcast. We also have mental verses we're going to talk about on our podcast. We have another one going on with that. Um, for me, Blueprint Real Estate Services, you guys check me out, check out my information, all my content. I'm going to be putting out videos, PROPYLAND, right? LB Crib Tours. Those are great places to get started if you're looking to buy a home or relocate to Las Vegas. Chris, you're out at your dealership. Talk to us about that, man. How could somebody find you there? I know you're in real estate too, so pitch both.
Yeah. Honestly, for real estate, only because I want to make sure that I give the best service possible, and I don't want anyone waiting on me. Real estate for me right now is going to be like more for personal or assisting like friends and family. However, for real estate, I highly recommend you reach out to Dan. He's way more available than me. I am active in terms of I have an active license, but to really serve you to the best of my ability right now, car business is my first. That's what's generating me income now, and that's where my energy is.
So
I only have 2 days.
you've been in the
Go ahead.
car industry. Where's your car dealership at?
Yeah, if you're in the market for a Honda or any other vehicle other than that, and we have it on the dealership, I'll take care of you. I'm at the Honda dealership in Henderson. So
In Henderson?
no one. Yeah,
I
I'm in
thought I
Henderson.
thought it was on Sahara. It's in Henderson.
No, it's in Henderson. Yeah.
Nice, man. I like
So
that area.
yeah, Honda Henderson. No one beats us. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure you get a good deal. And if you're in the market for a vehicle, definitely come see me.
All right, guys, we're out of here. We're going to see you next week. We're going to be back at the same time. We'll have a lot more content. Like I said, we're just getting back in the flow of things. We're going to start bringing some new guests on and some new content. Please like the channel, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys at the next one. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you then.